Do you travel with makeup? I'm always trying to find the perfect travel makeup bag, so today I'm going to do an honest review of 12 bags. Welcome to Linky Lifestyle. I'm Mardi and I've been travelling for over 25 years with my husband Michael, so we love to share our expertise with you to help you plan holidays that aren't just fun but truly unforgettable. I'm constantly driven to refine and improve my travel packing systems. I've been thinking about how I pack makeup recently, so I'm going to review 12 products today. I used to be really into makeup about 10 years ago, and when I travelled I'd bring excessive amounts of it, a full roll of brushes and brush washing tools, 7 or 8 eye palettes, you name it. Nowadays I'm a bit more minimal, although I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist. I've found that if I have a large bag for my makeup, I'll just add in a few more things. An extra eyeshadow palette or two, a few more lipsticks, a couple of blushes. And then I find that when I'm using my makeup, I'm always rummaging, looking for that one thing that I want to use. So I want to find some travel makeup solutions that will be enough, but not too much. I've pulled out my basic selection of travel makeup. I have a small tube of face primer and some eye primer. Both are mini sizes from gifts with purchase, and I've had them in my travel kit for a while now, but they still have enough in them. I have some Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint in this small airless pump. This holds 10 mils, and since I filled it, I've used it every day on a 12-day cruise, as well as on a couple of shorter trips. So 10 mils is going to last quite a long time. I use loose setting powder, which I keep in this small container, and I take a small concealer. I don't actually use concealer all that often. I find it makes me look worse most of the time, but sometimes I need it. This one's NARS. I no longer buy NARS because it's not cruelty free, but I liked it a lot when it was cruelty free, so I still have a lot of NARS products I use. I have a travel sized Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, which is a contour and highlight powder. Both are quite subtle. I have the lightest shade. And a NARS Orgasm blush in a mini size. I have an Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil and an eyebrow gel to set my brows in place, a Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eyeshadow Crayon in Rose Gold, which is a neutral colour, and a pencil and liquid eyeliner and mascara. This is a great mascara, but I don't think you can get it anymore. It's a tubing one, which means it needs warm water to get it off. I usually have 2 lipsticks in my makeup kit. This old Clinique Raspberry Glacé, which used to be in every single Clinique gift with purchase kit, and this NARS lip pencil in Cruella, a subtle red. See, I told you I've got a lot of NARS. And I have a small rollerball perfume, because I put on perfume after I do my makeup. The tools I carry are a hair clip, pencil sharpener, mini tweezers and some cotton buds in this Muji case. Then I have a selection of brushes. A foundation buffing brush, a setting powder brush, a contour brush, highlighter, blush, concealer brush and an eyebrow spoolie. The other brush I have is a retractable fluffy brush, which I use to blend in my contour, highlighter and blush and knock off any excess setting powder. You can see I'm not minimal. If I travel with my brushes in with the makeup, I use brush guards to protect them. I also use these when I wash the brushes to prop them up with the bristles down but not touching anything, to keep them in shape while they're drying. I prop them on a rolled up hand towel. I've also got a selection of additional items for longer trips. I've got an additional primer. This one's more of a matte one. The other one's hydrating. Another foundation. The Hourglass is more of a tinted moisturiser. This Fenty Easy Drops is still light, but it does give a bit more coverage. And I like that it's in a small plastic bottle that's good for travel. I've got my favourite eyeshadow palette. I use all the colours and it's very versatile with matching mattes and shimmers. Plus this Urban Decay Naked 3 mini palette, which has pink tone shadows. I have a Tarte blush palette, 5 additional lipsticks, another perfume and some extra eye and lip pencils. Okay, you'll notice that these are all eye pencils, but imagine some of them are lip liners. I have a brown liquid eyeliner, the other one's black. I'll also add in some flat and fluffy eyeshadow brushes to use with powder shadow. Of the 12 bags I'm going through today, I've used 6 of them, and 6 are new ones I bought from Amazon. I'll go through from smallest to largest. I'm going to score them out of 5 for brush storage, organisation, overall capacity, ability to see items and average those for an overall score. When I packed for my video about travelling carry-on only for a 2-week trip overseas, I used this for my makeup. It's the detachable clear pouch from the bottom of a Trip toiletry bag. It's a squeeze, but I can get all my basic makeup kit into it, including that hair clip and all my brushes. I like that this is clear so it's easy to see where things are. I'd prefer a bit more organisation though. I score this 3 for brush storage, 1 for organisation, 3 for room and 5 for visibility. That's an average of 3 out of 5. It's usable, a bit squishy and disorganised, but compact and easy to see into. I've had this Paul and Joe bag for years and I love it. It has kittens on it. There's some brush storage, although not enough for all my brushes. It has helpful organisation pockets around the sides so I can put shorter items in them. But there's plenty of room and I love the organisation. I give this 4 for brush storage, 5 for organisation, 3 for room and 5 for visibility. That's an average of 4 out of 5. Great organisation, not too big. This Wicked Sista bag is very similar to the Paul and Joe one, but a tiny bit longer and about half its height. I can easily fit everything in, although it does take a bit more Tetrising to get it all to fit. There are more brush holders in the lid, but they're really narrow. I score this one 4 for brush storage, 3 for organisation, 3 for room and 4 for visibility, which is an average of 3.5 out of 5. This was a gift with purchase from Sephora, or actually I think I bought it with a set of perfume samples. Whatever it was, I've had it a long time. I used this when I went overseas for 2 weeks last year, but I don't think I packed my brushes in it. It fits everything easily, but it's black inside so it's hard to find things in it. I should probably pack pencil-like items in one of my Muji pencil boxes. There's more room to spare than in the previous 3 options. I rate this 3 for brush storage, 1 for organisation, 4 for room and 1 for visibility for an average of 2.25 out of 5. I like the bag, it's squishy and attractive, but it isn't very practical. One of the new ones now, this is from Relavel and is like the Paul and Joe and Wicked Sista bags, but it's a little larger and flatter. It has a separate brush area. It has 2 organisation pockets on the inside of the lid of the main compartment, but I found 2 problems with these. Having items in here affected the space for brushes, and if not packed tightly would fall out as I was opening and closing the bag. It fits everything easily and all the brushes fitted in the brush area. Unlike the 2 similar bags, it had elastic straps and pockets big enough for my bigger brushes. I scored this one 5 for brush storage, 3 for organisation, 4 for room and 3 for visibility, which gives an average of 3.75 out of 5. I bought this set on Etsy years ago. It's the oldest in this review. It's a chuck-it-all-in bag, but it has a separate brush roll for the brushes I take. That's great, but it adds bulk and we're definitely moving up in size here, so I've added in the extra items. I don't have any problems fitting everything in, but I actually feel we're moving into one of the negatives, which is that I'd be tempted to chuck more in. I'm scoring it on the basis that I'd use it for longer trips with the additional stuff. I give it 5 for brush storage, 2 for organisation, 5 for room and 2 for visibility for an average of 3.5 out of 5. Have you got a favourite travel makeup bag? Tell me about it in the comments. If you'd like to see more of this content, please consider watching more of our videos and look in the description or the first comment for other ways you can support Linky Lifestyle. This Bagsmart one is from Amazon and I bought it by mistake thinking I was buying my hanging toiletry bag. I liked it so I kept it, and this is the one I used for our 6-week holiday last year, which if you've watched my packing review video, you'll know I regretted because being so large I fell into the trap of packing heaps of extra stuff. I will note that on that trip I used the Etsy brush roll and it fitted in the bag at first, but for some reason later in the trip it didn't. It has more than enough room and some organisation. The pockets in the main section work quite well, but the elastic straps are a bit too loose and unstretchy, and I think they're sewn a bit too high up. Things tend to slip out underneath. I can get all my brushes in the brush section on the side, and there's an extra flat pocket lined with plastic that I put my large eyeshadow and blush palettes in. Look, it's great. Easy to pack, easy to use, but it's huge, and like I said before, it encourages overpacking. I score it 5 for brush storage, 4 for organisation, 3 for room because I've taken a point away for being too big, and 3 for visibility, for an average of 3.75 out of 5. It occurred to me that when I go on a cruise, a hanging bag might be useful. I can hang it on a magnetic hook and keep it off the desk area. This bag has a hook and is clear, which is a bonus for findability. But there's nowhere to attach the hook on the bag if you aren't using it, so it flaps around a bit annoyingly. It has 3 compartments, 2 quite large and a smaller flat one with mesh. I got everything in it, including the long trip extras. It closes with a strap which you can pull tight to compress it. The bottom compartment zips off, which for me isn't particularly useful for makeup, but if I used the bag for a small toiletry bag, I could probably put all my makeup in there, similar to what I do with the tripped bag. I scored it 4 for brush storage, organisation and room, and 5 for visibility, for an overall score of 4.25 out of 5. This also has a hook and is clear. It has 3 compartments, one with a mesh pocket inside it. I put my brushes in the compartment with the mesh pocket, in front of the pocket, and the large palettes in the mesh pocket. I put smaller items in the smaller top pouch and the remainder in the middle pouch. Everything fitted easily, but I'm concerned that putting smaller items like lipstick in the middle compartment, which opens up quite low, may mean they fall out. I may need to swap the contents around and put the lipsticks in with the brushes. I scored this 4 for brush storage and organisation and 5 for room and visibility, for an average of 4.5 out of 5. This double layer case is quite rigid, and while I like the look of the more rigid makeup cases, they aren't as practical for packing. The top layer is shallower with an elastic strap for brushes, and the bottom layer is larger, but there's no additional organisation. It easily holds everything, and I like the clear panels. I scored it 5 for brush storage, 3 for organisation, and 5 for room and visibility, averaging 4.5 out of 5. This is squishy and a bit padded, which makes it easier to pack. This opens up to show 2 clear zip-up compartments with a detachable brush panel in the middle. All the brushes except the eyeshadow brushes fitted in the brush compartment. I put the eyeshadow brushes in the pocket on the back, but I think they might fall out of there. Everything fitted quite well. I gave it 5 for brush storage, 4 for organisation, 5 for room and 4 for visibility, for an average of 4.5 out of 5. This really is the big daddy of this review series. It's a chunky boy. Not only is it huge, but it's also heavy. On the plus side, it has a lighted mirror built in, which would mean I didn't need to bring my large separate mirror. This reminds me of what my mother and aunts used to call a beauty case. It's lined with a fairly dense foam with slots that hold these dividers, and has a separate flat insert that holds brushes. I had to fiddle around with the dividers a bit. I couldn't use all of them, it took up too much room. I found a long compartment for palettes, a tiny one for lipsticks, and a large general one worked best. The brush holder isn't great, it's not quite long enough, and the front pockets weren't useful once I'd filled up the back pockets with the chunkier brushes. The mirror is great, and having it built in is really nice. I found that I had to be careful how I packed it due to the brushes having to go on top and the mirror taking up space, so I needed to fiddle around with it more than I would have liked. It's a big no from me. I rated it 3 for brush storage and organisation and 2 for room and visibility, for an average of 2.5 out of 5. Out of the 12 makeup packing solutions here, I'd say that there are only 2 I wouldn't use, the Big Daddy makeup case and the Sephora bag. There were 4 that got the highest score of 4.5 out of 5, which were the 2 clear hanging bags, the squishy cream one and the rigid pink one. Of these, I'd probably select the Cubetastic pink and clear hanging bag for cruises and the cream squishy bag for trips where I take more makeup. The highest rated of the small makeup bags was the Paul and Joe one with 5 out of 5. I own 6 of these bags that I've reviewed today, and although I rated some more highly than others, I won't be getting rid of any. If I don't use them for makeup, they're often useful for other things. The one I'm least likely to use is the huge pink Bagsmart one, but if I can restrain my overpacking tendencies, it does have its positives. I might give away a couple of the other ones, but I'm not sure yet. Which would you choose? Do you think I'm a ridiculous overpacker? You wouldn't be the first to tell me that I am. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this review video, I'm planning to do more reviews, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss out. For now, I suggest you watch this video on lightening your toiletry load, or this one on minimising your travel gear to enhance your travel experience. Bye for now.